Alright guys, today we need to talk about something that's got the entire Genshin community buzzing, or maybe panicking, depending on who you ask. And that's the new rumor about Varka, the long-awaited Grandmaster of the Knights of Favonius. Now the leak that started all this claims Varka won't be headlining a limited banner. Instead, he's supposedly getting dropped straight into the standard banner in version 6.5, right after debuting in 6.4. Yeah. You can probably already imagine why that sent Reddit, Discord, and Twitter into a meltdown. People are going crazy with memes, rage posts, and even threats to uninstall the game if it turns out to be true. But hold up. Before we jump on the panic train, let's actually break this down. Is there any chance this is real? Or is this just another case of the community getting baited by fake leaks before a new region drops? Let's go step by step. Save up to 25% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. Right now, Loot Bar has a special limited pack of 6,480 Genesis crystals for only $72 compared to $100 in-game. That's a $28 saving. I just entered my UID and selected my server. In less than 5 minutes, the gems appeared in my account. As you can see, I received double the amount for my first purchase. Just like with in-game top-ups beyond Genshin, you can also top up in Hongai Star Rail. Loot Bar has over 100,000 satisfied users and also supports PS5 and Xbox top-ups. New users can get an extra 10% discount from the link in the description. For anyone who's newer to Genshin, the standard banner, also called Wanderlust Invocation, is the permanent banner that's always in the game. You can toss your acquaint fates in there whenever you want, and the pool includes characters like Diluc, Mona, Chiki, Jean, Keiching, Tignari, Dehya, and most recently, Yume Mizuki. The standard banner isn't where you go hunting for meta-defining units. It's more like a grab bag, where Hoyoverse occasionally drops a new character just to freshen things up. And honestly, that doesn't happen often. Tignari was added back in version 3.0. Dehya was released in 3.6, and by 3.7 she was part of standard. Mizuki debuted in 5.4, and officially joined standard in 5.5. So yeah, it does happen, but it's rare. Which is why this whole Varka situation hits so hard. Players have literally been waiting since launch for Varka. He's been hyped up in lore, teased in character voice lines, and built up as this legendary figure, the Grandmaster of Mondstadt, the guy who discovered Razor, basically a myth in the community. So to imagine that after 5 years of waiting, he might just end up as another random standard option you can lose your 50-50 to? Yeah, you can see why emotions are running high. On Reddit, people immediately called it S-tier rage bait and the fakest leak of all time. Some even joked they'd rather believe Hoyoverse was finally adding a skip cutscene button than believe Varka's going standard. Others said they'd print the leak out just so they could wipe their ass with it. That kind of energy tells you right away that trust in this source is not very high. The rumor originally came from an account called Duma Leaks. And yeah, the credibility isn't exactly strong. People immediately pointed out that this same person once claimed Columbina's first name was literally just Columbina. Not exactly a huge confidence boost. Compare that to more established names like HOMD, GCAT, or Team China leakers, and you can see why most people are skeptical. And the community has a long memory when it comes to fake standard banner leaks. Remember when people swore that Citlali was going to be the standard 5-star in Natlan? Yeah, that turned out completely false. The same thing happened with earlier rumors about Navia, Linny, and even Chlorind. Pretty much every time, standard banner leaks turn out to be rage bait until proven otherwise. Here's where things get tricky. As much as this feels like classic bait, there are just enough believable details that people are worried. Some of the early chatter about Varka's kit suggests he's not going to be a monster DPS. The leaks describe him more as a utility-based Anemo Claymore, someone who brings buffs or field control, but not the kind of unit who completely breaks Spiral Abyss the way Navia or Nuvalette did. And that actually lines up with Hoyoverse's history for standard characters. They're not bad, far from it, but they're also not must-pull game-breaking units. Think Tignari's solid Dendro quick-swap style, Dehya's niche but unique damage mitigation, Mizuki's flexible utility. All useful, fun, but not meta-shaking. So if Varka's numbers end up more middling, the idea of him being standard actually does make sense. But then again, there are reasons this rumor doesn't add up. For one thing, adding Varka would mean we'd now have 3 Anemo characters in the standard pool, Jean, Mizuki, and Varka, while Geo still has 0. That's already weird balance. On top of that, most standard 5 stars are spread across regions. Mondstadt already has Jean, Deluch, and Mona in there. Would Hoyoverse really throw in another Mondstadt unit instead of a fresh face from Fontaine or Natlan? A lot of players think that's insane. And let's not forget the money side. Varka is one of the most hyped characters still unreleased, up there with characters like Flynn's and Columbina. Dropping him into standard instead of milking his banner sales? That would mean Hoyoverse is leaving a mountain of cash on the table. Another big reason people are doubtful? We haven't even hit version 6.1 yet. Talking about a 6.4 or 6.5 decision this early is risky at best. So much can change in development. It just doesn't line up that we'd already know Hoyoverse's plans this far out. Now, some people are trying to look on the bright side. If Varka really does end up in standard, that means no FOMO. You wouldn't have to spend all your Primo Gems just to guarantee him. Over time, you'd naturally pull him through pity losses or, even better, the free standard 5-star selector Hoyoverse usually gives out during anniversaries. So yeah, if you're patient, you could literally just pick Varka for free next anniversary if you don't have him by then. It's not what most people want, but it is a consolation prize for collectors. Of course, this isn't just about Varka. A lot of the frustration comes from a broader issue in the community. The feeling that Hoyoverse constantly sidelines male characters. People compared it to Capitano getting sidelined in Natlan or Dehya being shoved into standard. Some players say, male characters don't sell. Others fire back, they don't sell because Hoyoverse doesn't let them sell. And then they point to banners like Flynn's and Nouvelette that were huge successes when handled properly. So the debate here touches on more than just one character. It's about whether Hoyoverse is intentionally pushing waifus harder than husbandos. Where does that leave us? Honestly, in classic wait-and-see mode. Right now, the claim that Varka's going standard in 6.5 is just a single leak from an untested source. The community response is split between panic and laughter, with most veterans writing it off as bait. And history shows that standard banner leaks almost always turn out false. But we also can't ignore that Hoyoverse has added 3 standard 5 stars in the past, so it's not impossible. And if the early kit info is accurate, if Varka isn't designed to be a top-tier DPS, then yeah, standard would fit. Still, until Hoyoverse confirms it in a live stream or official announcement, it's way too early to treat this as fact. If you're a Varka fan, here's my advice. Don't panic pull, and don't despair yet. Leaks this early are shaky at best. And even if it does happen, remember, standard means you'll eventually get him for free. If you're someone who only cares about top meta characters, temper your expectations. He may end up more of a flavorful utility pick than a Spiral Abyss tyrant. But honestly, that doesn't mean he won't be fun to play. At the end of the day, Varka's arrival is going to be huge, just for lore and world-building reasons. Personally, I'm still excited to finally meet him in-game, whether it's 6.4, 6.5, or later. But I want to hear from you guys. Would you be disappointed if Varka ends up as standard? Or would you actually prefer knowing you can grab him for free with the next anniversary selector? And how do you feel about the whole husbando versus waifu debate in Genshin? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I really want to know what the community thinks beyond just the memes and the rage bait. That's going to wrap things up for this discussion. If you want more breakdowns like this, covering leaks, community reactions, and how they fit into Genshin's patterns, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Save up to 25% on current banners at lootbar.gg, links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.